What do we mean by high-value development? We mean providing the highest possible quality at the lowest possible price. The basic principles of our development process are, firstly, to divide the design phase into two independent streams, what we call the design process, creating the look and feel of the site, and the content development. These streams run in parallel. Secondly, the stakeholders, the primary consultant and the client, participate in design decisions and content creation throughout the design phase. Thirdly, multiple approval points ensure that the design stays on track and will meet or exceed expectations. Finally, only when the stakeholders have signed off on design and content do we implement in Wordpress. This is a flowchart of the development process. I'll go through the various areas. At the moment, I'd like you to notice the green decision boxes at the intermediate approval points. The estimate approval, the design and content sign-off, and the sign-off of the WordPress site before deployment. On top of this, the transparent nature of the design process and the project management allows continuous oversight and feedback from the stakeholders. The first thing we do is brainstorm with the stakeholders, a virtual kickoff meeting, to get a handle on the purpose and scope of the project. We also want to, firstly, identify the stakeholders and define their responsibilities, secondly, identify any constraints or other possible issues, and thirdly, set a target date for completion. After the kick-off meeting, these tasks let us generate an estimate based on the projected number of pages. Our quoted price, based on the overall complexity of the site, will consist of the sum of 4 items. 1. A fixed price for the analysis and design. 2. A fixed price for the home page. 3. A fixed price for installation and configuration of any plugins required, such as WooCommerce or Bookly. And fourthly, a fixed price per page for additional pages. The final project cost will depend on the actual number of pages that form the completed site. Now we'll take a look at the design process, which will come up with the look and feel of the site. The first thing is to define the color palette, the 4 or 5 colors that will be used on the site. These must be chosen carefully to set the desired mood and feel of the site and fit in with any existing marketing materials. We make use of various tools, including a collection of award-winning websites, and we ask stakeholders to select between 3 and 5 palettes for final consideration. This shortlist is then ranked in order by the stakeholders, and the final palette chosen by the client. The review of the website collection has a side benefit. It exposes the stakeholders to a variety of different site designs. The next thing we want to do is to introduce the stakeholders to the large number of possible page layouts in WordPress. We'd like to get agreement on a basic template for the home page and a typical information page. If the client has no logo, we can provide a design service using the palette's colors. Finally, and in constant consultation with the stakeholders, we'll develop a mock-up or prototype of the home page and a typical information page using a prototyping tool such as Entertype. This will define the default layout, fonts, etc. Meanwhile, the content development has been going on, with the stakeholders brainstorming what they would like to say on the site. We set up a shared Google Drive folder for this purpose. The stakeholders are encouraged not to worry about the appearance of the page they are creating in a Google Doc, but to focus on the content. Any pictures or other media to be used on the site can also be inserted here. This is an example of a shared Google Drive folder. Stakeholders provide the content with a little help where necessary. Formal approval of the prototype and content kick off the development of the working WordPress site in the Development Dev environment. The website in Dev is finally approved before publishing the site in the separate production environment. The Dev site is maintained for installing and testing any future changes or enhancements. Here we see the Entertype prototype and the production site side by side. You might spot that the fonts are slightly different. The stakeholders requested this change during the final review. There is obviously a lot of coordination required to make all this work smoothly. Tasks are being executed simultaneously in different locations. Effective coordination of communication systems are crucial to the success of the project. We use a form of agile project management called Kanban. Kanban is a Japanese word for a notice board where current tasks were posted in the original method, developed for manufacturing by Toyota. We have a very flexible online Kanban board, together with frequent stand-ups, short visual meetings using Skype to ensure effective communication. This is an example of a Kanban board for a WordPress project. Tasks are held in 3 queues or stacks. Work in progress, limited to a maximum of 5 or 6, which are assigned to different team members with an agreed completion date. Backlog, other required tasks, added as needed and ranked in order of priority. Completed tasks, light grey, are purged periodically from the work in progress stack and moved to completed for the duration of the project. Often there are supplementary stacks, such as issues, bugs, or reference information, such as server credentials. A summary of changes to the Kanban board is automatically generated and distributed to all team members by email. There are many firms out there offering low-cost WordPress development. We get email offers every day. But I think I've shown that there's much more to developing an effective website than being a WordPress whiz. We're different because we have a well-developed and transparent design and production system that involves the stakeholders at every step of the process, ensuring a fully satisfied customer. We have low production costs to start with, and we avoid waste and rework with effective management and communication systems. We have wide, real-world business training and experience, and can talk the client's language. We specialize in working for other consultants in a supporting role. We want to put our efforts into developing great websites, not retail marketing. If you decide to partner with us, your total satisfaction is our first priority. Try us for your next project. You won't regret it.